Well, hello, everyone. Hello, it is Dr. Brandy B. I am still late today, y'all. I was trying my very best to be on time, but with even the best of intentions, I am still late today. But I am here. We may have to come back and break it up into two parts, but I'm here at this very moment. So come on in, bring a friend, and come on in. It is Focus on It Friday. Focus on It Friday. So come on in. Let's see who is coming with us for a very brief time. And then if we need to come back, we will. Y'all, I've got my mama in the car, and this lady drinks coffee like nobody's business. So we're going to have to stop and get some coffee at the McDonald's, and then we will continue. We've got Rachel Robinson. Hello, Auntie Brenda. Yes, I would like 3 cups of small coffee, all black, with Splenda and cream on the side.
Okay, I got your first one.
Thank you.
You gonna cry?
And you gonna pay for it? All right, these type of conversations we have, tell her to just enjoy herself. Did anybody ask her what it cost? For the 9 months she carried me, no charge. All right, y'all. So hello. We've got Miss Patricia Pruitt. Hello. Listen, y'all, we are so excited to have y'all. It is nice and warm outside. My middle child went to the zoo today. I had an appointment this morning, and so I couldn't make it. Oh, I was so wanting to walk around the zoo. But I didn't make it, but that's okay. My husband still went and saved the day. So we are going to talk about ADHD today. We may have to come back. You all know that my husband and I have a radio show. Today, we are having to record our show because tomorrow we will actually be at my daughter's dance recital. So this is the first time for us. And all this stuff is going on today because, of course, what would life be like if it were not super busy? But I do want to go ahead and get started. So I will let you all know that I am Dr. Brandy B., your triple board certified pediatrician, adult psychiatrist, and child and adolescent psychiatrist. And through my Facebook live stream, Focus on It Friday, I help worried moms, dads, grandmothers, aunts, uncles, and anybody else get education that they need so that their grandbabies, their children, their students, their loved ones can be successful in the classroom and in life. So this all kind of started because yesterday or one day this week, I was interviewing with a couple about their son. And they have several children, and I see a couple of their other children. And in interviewing the parents and this particular child, by the end of it, the daddy said, "Oh, my God, I think the other children need to be evaluated, and I do too." And so I said, yeah, probably so, because if you've read my book, Shine, then you know that if you're looking at a child who has ADHD, there's a very high likelihood that the dad has it, if not the mom or maybe even both parents. And so the next morning I sent him a text message because I know these people personally, and everybody don't have my text message. Sorry. So I said, "Hey there, just curious, what did I say or ask that made you realize that you and your child may have ADHD? I'm always curious about what really grabs folks' attention." He said, "For my child, pretty much everything you described to him, and when you would do it," it's so annoying. "My wife and I would look at each other and say, the other child." Then he said, "Fidgeting, forgetfulness, or having to remind." Then he said, "Organization issues, talking fast, and jumping from one thing to another." Hold on, guys. Hello. All right, talking fast, jumping from one thing to another. Depressed symptoms. For me, it was feeling overwhelmed, forgetful, focusing problems. Thank you. I have dozens of half-read books, distracted during tests, careless mistakes, and I fidget. That's what he says about himself. All right, we're going to pull over after we get this coffee. Then he says, I've always felt that I had to work harder and study harder to get the grades I need, despite having a firm grasp on the subject matter. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So he's having to work harder and focus harder, study harder, work harder to get the grades, despite having a firm grasp on the subject matter. He says, even now with my board questions, because this dad is a physician, I'll miss something and be like, I knew that. Why did I choose that answer? So I asked him, so as I was asking the questions during my history taking, were you thinking about yourself and your child? He responded, yes. All right. I'm going to pull over and park to be safe. All right. And then I said, of course, may I share this? Then he says, I've struggled my whole life. I got good grades, but it's been a struggle. I've always wondered what was wrong with me. I often say I'm not smart. I'm just a hard worker. I never imagined that I could have ADD. He didn't come to focus on it Friday. We know that. And he said, of course, you can share. And I said, and this is why I go so hard for ADHD. And this is truly why I do. Let me just go back and remind everybody what ADHD is. Again, there is no ADD. At this point, everything is ADHD, attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder, right? So you either have inattentive symptoms, hyperactive impulsive symptoms, or the combination. Most people think of the hyperactivity, the impulsivity, the moving, the talking, and all of that, always on the go, can't stay seated, as being a part of, the ADHD that has to be present, but it does not. In fact, the older the patient, the less likely they are to have those symptoms. So I would not expect, for example, that an adult would be hyperactive and always on the go. But what can be hyperactive symptoms in an adult? You could have an adult who's extremely talkative, all the time talking. I mean, they've got stories that are just god-awful long for no reason. You could ask them, how long does it take to get to my house? Most people are going to say either 15 minutes, if they know that for sure, round about 15 minutes, anywhere between 10 and 15 minutes, depending upon how you're driving. But not these people. They have got to tell you all the different ways that you can get to their house. I mean, they're going to just go all out with all these details, and then they may get distracted and start talking about something else. Now, where does this become a problem in people's everyday life? If they're a professional and they're running a meeting and they do not, either don't have an agenda or they're not able to follow it because they got distracted. They lost the agenda. They never did start the meeting on time, and so now the meeting is behind, and so they're trying to figure that out. These are some of the ways that talkativeness can become apparent in an adult. What else might an adult do? Just fidgeting, back and forth, pacing, always moving, like they have ants in their pants. Somebody I know used to say it. Can't remember who said that. But just always moving. And you look at them and you want to say, sit down, because they are always on the go. So no, they may not be running. No, they may not be jumping. But you can tell that they're, even when they talk, it's excited. It's a lot of it. It's fast, right? It could be, but remember, even though ADHD does not have a spectrum in its name, certainly it is a spectrum in that people will behave different ways, right? So what else might people have? Fidgety, when they're in a seat, they're on their left butt cheek, then the right butt cheek, then their knees, then both knees, then they stand up, always just kind of moving, but maybe not running like you would expect to see with a kid. Incomplete tasks, so let's say they have a job where they have tasks that they have to complete, but they never get one started, or they procrastinate, and then at the very minute they're gearing up, they're getting it done, and they can do pretty good work at the last minute, because that is what they're used to doing. They have forced themselves. They have to do it that way because they've waited to the last minute. And so these are the people that will say, oh, I work best under pressure. Nobody works best under pressure, but this may be what they have to do because the procrastination is so bad that they are forced to work under pressure, and they are forced to do their best under pressure. But you do not work best under pressure. These are the same people that will say, oh, I multitask well. There's really no such thing as multitasking. You're either paying attention to this thing or you're paying attention to that thing. And if you're trying to pay attention to both of them, you're missing something in both of those, in one of those things. I know, for example, I have been in a call. Birthday twin. I didn't mean to talk about you. Peekaboo. I didn't mean to talk about you. Laquita Kagi says, stop talking about me, Brandon. I didn't mean to talk about my birthday twin. That's my birthday twin, y'all. But, yeah, so if I have noticed that I'll be, on a Zoom, during the pandemic, I was on as many as 3 Zoom calls at one time. And I really needed to be on a 4th one, but I couldn't convince any of my children to let their phones go so that I could use their device to make the 4th device. But, so you're just kind of scanning the 3, right? I had the one that I had to have my screen on and I had to be present, but then there were these other 2 that I would kind of just listen for my name or listen to for my committee, but there is no way that I was fully attending to all 3 of those screens at the same time because that's just not what human beings can do. What you need? You need to get back on that lotion of thing about that. Y'all, my mama come in that car and just be trying to claim. Do y'all do that to y'all kids? I don't have no lotion.
It was. I let Frank had the thing to remember.
Oh,
my hands was itching. Don't worry about it.
Mama trying to find some lotion in my car. She said she left it. But anyway, we're going to get Mama some lotion. We're going to put it in a basket for Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. All right, so you start a project, and then you can't find it. You cannot complete it. You started another project, right? Somebody yesterday told me they like to scrapbook, but they can never finish it. And then when the event comes up, she's like, well, I work good under pressure. No, you work good when you're pressured because that's what you have to do. You have to do it. These are the people, right? So we're still talking about the hyperactive and impulsive stuff. You got talking, they're loud. Oh, my God, you trying to sneak in the movie with them late? Because these people are always late because time management is horrible. Why? Because they always think they have more time than they really have. So they're late everywhere they go. So these are the people that are tiptoeing in the movie, and they are loud. These are the people that at the house, you know exactly what room they're in because they are loud. These are the people that other people think they're being smart with them, that they're trying to up-talk them and upstage them because they are so loud. But no, they're just loud. They're not trying to upstage you. They're not trying to embarrass you. They are just loud. So they're talkative, they're loud, they're blurting and interrupting. I had somebody, one of my girlfriends, posted on Facebook, what is up with all these people interrupting people when they're talking? I'm like, and everybody, they're rude, they're this, they're that. And I come in and I simply say, these are the type of people that need to come and see me. These are the people that won't let you get a word in. You're talking and they just start talking. And they swear, you took a pause. When did I take a pause? It's called a breath. I didn't take a pause, I took a breath. I did not pause, I took a breath so I wouldn't die. And they jump in, or if it's a kid, I know we're talking about ADHD and adults, but in your kids, your teacher will say, he's always blurting out the answer without raising his hand. So his classmates are mad, right, because they're playing a game, and you're supposed to be on teams, and your child is blurting out answers, and so now that question goes out the window because the answer has been revealed, or that team that your child is on actually loses a point because blurting cannot happen. All right? What else? So being talkative, being loud, blurting, interrupting, not waiting one's turn, always on the go, acting as if driven by a motor, fidgeting. So these are the people that are always tapping and drumming. They got pencils. They're making noises. Everything is a band to them because they are definitely drummers. So this is what's going on. Now, those are hyperactive inattentive symptoms. You know those in kids. You may not recognize them in adults. Fidgeting, shaking the leg, or twirling hair. What else? Young kids chewing on sleeves, chewing on collars. So all of their sweet little V-necks are suddenly, their scoop necks are suddenly cow necks. They just kind of hang down because they have chewed on them so much until the form is gone from them. Hello there. Hello. So good to see you, Miss Jennifer. All right, Miss Trisha King is here. Miss Sandy Royster is here. Nancy Brazier Ray is here. Miss Keena is here. That's my bestie. Let's see, Miss Warmack, Toinette, and my Auntie Brenda. I think I've spoken to everybody now. Hey, Mama. Mama's with me in the car today, y'all. So I don't have to speak to her. She's here. I get to be with my little beauty queen. All right, so what else? Let's talk about inattentive symptoms. So your inattentive symptoms, they include losing things, right? I know I just had that. I know I just had that pen. I know. Yeah, anybody seen my keys? Anybody seen my shoes? Anybody seen my wallet? Anybody seen my purse? Anybody seen my brain? Okay, you losing it all. Forgetful. Oh, Lord, I can't remember where. Or if you ask your kids, I forgot. Kids will say, I forgot, I don't remember, or I don't know. But it's something that I don't know is usually, something that they know, like, what's your middle name? Hi, Dr. B. And, yes, hello. So they can't remember anything. What did you do at school today? I don't remember. I forgot. They do forget to turn in their homework. Let me tell you this. Nobody in the world, as far as I'm concerned, until I rule some things out, forgets to turn in homework except a child with ADHD. If you tell me your child forgets to turn in their homework, I'm going to make sure that your child doesn't have ADHD. Because how in the world do you forget to do your homework? You stayed up half the night doing it. That's like your moment to show your teacher that you did what they wanted you to do. So you do not show up with the work, but then not give it to the teacher. That right there, guys, is a classic ADHD moment. What else? So you are easily distracted. So you're minding your business, you're talking to them, and you see them just wander off. A bird chirped, a squirrel ran, a bee buzzed, the phone rang, baby sister cried. They are distracted, and it takes them a while to get that focus back. All right, what else? Procrastinating, which I mentioned. All right, do you all hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. Cousin Tina is here. Hello. Miss Gina is here. I think you all can hear me. Yes, awesome. So, if you think about because if you ask them to, for example, make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So if we ask someone to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, we know that is going to require several things. That's going to require bread, peanut butter, jelly, a knife, a napkin, a plate. You got to know where all these things are. And if you are disorganized, which folks with ADHD are, disorganized thoughts, disorganized book bags, disorganized room, disorganized purses, And it's not just the junkiness. They don't know where it is. And so all of that comes into play. And so what ends up happening is that the losing things, the forgetting things, the being disorganized, and then the procrastinating. Because in order for me to go to where the peanut butter and the jelly are, that means I needed to have put them where they were supposed to be the last time I used them. But if I wasn't paying attention and I just ended up putting peanut butter in the freezer, and now I'm looking for it, I'm like, oh, Lord, how did it get here? How did I do that? Then that's going to be a problem. So folks would rather just lie there, sit there, stand there, than get up and do the task. And so it ends up being that it does not get done, All right. So that is kind of where we are right now. We've gone over the hyperactive impulsive symptoms. Hello, Latina Woods. Welcome. I hope you had a good time. Tonight. I hope you have a good time tonight. So we've gone over some hyperactive and inattentive symptoms. Hyperactive impulsive symptoms. We've gone over some of the inattentive symptoms. What I am going to do today is to come back and take some questions. So gather up all your questions. Gather up all your friends. We will meet back at, I'm going to say, 3 o'clock. We'll be back at 3 o'clock and I will take your questions. Does that sound okay? We'll meet back at 3 o'clock for your questions. And if we need to go back over anything else, we will as well. Does that sound okay? Meet back at 3 o'clock? Can somebody write in the chat, meet me back at 3 o'clock? Meet me back at 3 o'clock. Miss Jennifer says, Happy National Mental Health Provider Day. Thank you. I didn't know that was such a thing. I'm so busy working, I didn't know I had a day, but I'll take it. Thank you, but definitely for sure, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and so the color is green. And so we want you all to be aware that mental illness is real. We talked about it last week. If you have time and have the interest, go back and listen to last week's live. I went through basically the whole DSM, everything from mood disorders to anxiety disorders to trauma-related disorders to disorders of reality or psychotic disorders. We talked about disorders of childhood. We are going to come back and take questions on ADHD or whatever else you want to talk about. I'm just going to have a Q&A at 3 o'clock on mental illness because I do have to cut it off right now and go and do a recording for my show tomorrow, my radio show, and then I will be back at about 3 to take your questions. So anything that's mental health related, we're just going to do a Q&A. That sound all right? Heard it on the radio. I was like, what? I ain't never heard of Mental Health Professionals Day, but I'll take it. Does it involve cookies or cake or what y'all supposed to do? Send me some money? Because, child, let me give you my cash app if that's what we're supposed to be doing. But I appreciate you all for showing up. And really, I get my reward. Obviously, I'm paid, right? I don't work for free. But the bigger reward is when I'm looking up and down my timeline and I see all these kids that are getting all these accolades. And I'm like, oh, my God, I see that kid. I see that kid. I see that kid's mama. Because sometimes seeing the kid's mama is really what the kid needs, right? If the kids could get me to see their mama or their daddy or both or the grandmama and everybody else in the family, the kid might be all right. And so that is definitely rewarding for me to be able to see and to be a part of. But I'll be back at 3. So jot down all your questions. Tell all your friends. This cute little psychiatrist, she's real smart. She's coming back at 3. This is the time. Get your questions together. Hopefully it's late enough after work for some folks that they can sneak away and join us. All right. So I won't say our goodbyes. I'll just say see you later. All right. Y'all have a good one until we meet in a couple hours. Bye.